Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC here, Chris.
Hi Chris, how's it going my dude? It's been a bit, but I see you are still very much being a sillyman as per our usual arrangement. Not that we actually have anything in formal writing. You do your thing, I do mine, and then we see each other in a couple of months to do it all again. Usually with a different take on whatever ridiculous idea you have had today that totally proves the earth is flat. And I appreciate your commitment to keep going. Because if there's one thing flat earthers should be, it is committed.
It's healing. As you can see, I'm able to kind of walk on it. I really shouldn't put weight on this yet.
Of course, I had forgotten about the leg thing, and I'm glad to hear. Don't want you being unable to walk. I mean, how are you supposed to chase down all those brilliant points that you have if your leg is all busted up? That's why you're so off your game recently. I don't know what explains all the other times, but you gotta have something, ain't you?
For now, let's discuss flat Earth.
Why, of course, there's literally nothing I would rather be doing, except being thrown off a bridge, or fucking a blender, or being crushed to death with a big pile of fetid excrement, or... You know what, there's lots of things I'd rather be doing, but somehow I'm just not that lucky.
Okay. That's right. The problem I have is, with everybody around the world, can't find a curve.
While I adore the fact that you used around the world as if it suggests some kind of shape, I do wonder what that could be. But, can't find what now? A curve? What do you mean, a curve? The whole thing is curved. It is essentially nothing but curve. What are you talking about? That's the problem with flirts. Well, one of the many. They can't comprehend that it's so big that you would never be able to see them with your eyes, because that's literally the only tool you can use to do anything. Except you can see it with your eyes, you just have to be looking at the correct thing. Basically, there's a reason why you can see the tops of buildings over skylines, but not the shit at ground level. No cars, no street lights, no people. It's because there's a curvy boy in the way.
Okay, at some point there has to be a bulge of some sort.
Again, not some point, some everywhere. I mean, in some respects, you are essentially standing on the bulge, no matter where you are. So it would be like standing on top of a hill, looking out to the horizon and saying, how could I possibly be standing on a hill? I can't see one in front of me anywhere. Yeah, dipshit, because you're standing on it, and apparently incapable of looking down.
Scientists say that we're too small, we're like ants on a basketball, right?
Well, I don't know who told you that, because it's a pretty fucking terrible analogue. If an ant on a basketball was the equivalent size relative to the Earth, depending on what exactly the kind of ant the thing was, it would be bloody enormous, like hundreds of kilometers across, and likely so goddamn tall, it would absolutely be able to see the curvature of the planet. No, what humans are would be more equivalent to, like, germs, bacteria, or a virus, or something teeny tiny like that. And also very appropriate, since they are basically a fucking disease.
And that's why we can't see the curve. Well, you see, I'm going to disagree with you on that.
I'm sure you will, but probably not for a, good reason, like mine. Because again, that is a bad analogy. I mean, sure, it's supposed to be a quick and dirty explanation, but it fails to truly demonstrate to your average half-wit just how small people are compared to the planet that they live on. So if you tell them that one, you shouldn't be surprised if they walk away assuming you weren't simply trying to dumb it down for them, but that's what it should literally be like. Even though, again, the ant walking on the basketball would be traveling, like, potentially tens of thousands of miles an hour. Possibly faster, I don't know. But it's sure as shit going to be fast, and it could fully traverse the surface in only a few seconds, maybe like a minute tops. How far exactly do you think you could get around even the flat Earth if you ran as fast as you could? Hell, as fast as a top athlete. In a minute, you're going to get basically nowhere. I just cannot stress enough how much of a failure calling a human equivalent to an ant on a basketball is, scale-wise.
Because Neil deGrasse Tyson, you all know who that is, right?
I love the idea that you disagree with the basketball ant thing just because Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then just move on. And yes, of course, I know who he is. In fact, over the years, he's gone up and down in my estimations, depending on what he's doing, mostly based on his propensity to say kind of, I'm 14 and deep shit on Twitter. But you know, in person, when he actually has to say shit through the face hole, I think he's generally a lot better. And I think he seems like he would be pretty fun to hang out with, even as a person who is a big dumb like myself. He genuinely seems to care about science communication, and generally, in my experience of what I've seen him doing, he does so in kind and compassionate tones, which leaves space for arseholes like me to berate people for being obvious fucking idiots. Thanks, Neil.
See, once you...
Bum, 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 bum. I love it when Windows just shuts down in the middle of you trying to write an idea or save a document. Hopefully he will reboot in a couple of hours. What, you think this guy's working with an SSD? No way. I assume he has to boot directly off a cassette tape, like the days you remember as the good old days. But you definitely wouldn't want to do that shit for anything other than a singular nostalgia trip, because fucking 20-minute load times, goddamn, don't lie, you get mad when you have to wait more than 3 seconds.
Believe in the ball. You have to go along with everybody, all the scientists that are out there.
What? No, that's not how that works, Chris. There's no having to go with whatever scientists do. No, what you seem to have confused is that people who understand and accept how reality works just happen to agree how reality works because, right, that's how fucking reality works. We don't have more than one of them, and even with certain things that might be subject to interpretation to some degree, the facts of reality kind of just are what they are. Unless you've made some profound discovery about the universe, the main reason you might not want to disagree with everyone for no reason is perhaps because you don't want to sound like a fucking idiot for no reason. I get that that is simply not a problem for you, though.
Whether they're comedians and not real or not.
So the list of scientific departments is comedians, not real, and not. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but I for one thought that there were more types of scientists than 3, and that none of them were considered scientists for any kind of comedic chops. I don't even know what kind of science comedy would be specifically helpful for, except maybe certain types of psychology, I guess, and anything to do with killing all the humans, because that is absolutely hilarious. But what do I know? I'm only a not, or am I a not real?
You have to go along with everything that they say.
But you don't. You do not have to go along with anything. Again, if you understand the science, you'll understand the science, so you'll just kind of agree by default. But breakthroughs are exactly not fucking doing that. Breakthroughs are discovering how we thought something worked is not actually how it works. And even in general, there's nothing wrong with questioning established science. The problem comes when you think you know better than all these scientists. You tell them something really fucking stupid and then act all offended when they ask you to leave their office for the 47th time this week. You're not upending the science, you're just wasting their time and previously perfectly usable air that has now been replaced with a thick black smog due to all the bullshit you just spewed.
As a matter of fact, NDT did say at one point that the Earth was like a pear. Remember that?
Okay, so that's one scientist. Most people don't say it's like that. I mean, some do, I'm sure, but you see how even in established science, different ways of describing things can exist, and nobody's bothered by that. You're kind of just completely dismantling your own point here, Chris. I don't hear anyone describe it like that, but I do hear sphere, I hear ball, and of course oblate spheroid all the time. Those are fine, functional ways to describe the shape of this planet. They just have granular levels of accuracy. They are still saying that it's, this shaped. Because it is.
Yeah. So, do the trolls out there believe that? No, they think it's ridiculous.
The trolls? Who exactly are the trolls? The people who tell you that you're wrong? Wouldn't that just be everyone? And no, you know that oblate spheroid thing? Yeah, that's almost certainly what is meant by pear-shaped. Not that it's literally shaped like a fucking fruit. Pear-shaped is an old saying that just means wider in the middle than at the top or the bottom. No one thinks they're being literal, apart from flat earthers, because they are too fucking stupid to metaphor.
But wait a minute. This is the top scientists.
I don't actually know exactly who you're talking about. I mean, I'm sure whoever it is good at what they do. But that's not really such a thing as being the top scientist. They all do different things in different fields. There's far too many to count one as like a best one. And no, the scientists who go on TV a lot, well, that doesn't make them top either. Just that they like and are reasonably competent as science communicators. They could be brilliant scientists, they could be not that great, but they are there because people tend to like watching them, not because they're the number one sciencer ever.
And he says it's a pear. Let's get back to what I was talking about.
You're talking about something. You had some kind of point. I'll be honest, I'm not sure I believe you, Chris. I mean, I know it was about bulges and basketballs and ants and all that shit, but honestly, I would be surprised if those face noises you make are anything but an involuntary spasm that happens whenever you're in the presence of a camera. Probably because it's powered by fucking ghosts or something.
So nobody on Earth can find a curve.
Apart from everyone, depending on what you mean, again, I think you think that somehow it's going to bulge up in front of you, when it's going to be going away from you no matter where you stand, because that's how standing on a ball that's center of mass is, you know, its center. It's not like anyone stands like this on the planet so that it raises up in front of them. But that's only because that would be really dumb. Almost as dumb as you are, Chris.
Okay. But yet there has to be a bulge somewhere, and nobody's ever seen it.
I do really want to know what you think that would be like. Like, how do you think this bulge on a globe should work? Because I am certain that if you explain it to us, we will know exactly how you haven't understood what the hell is going on, and why you think that everyone else is so ignorant for missing this thing that you simply don't understand.
Nobody knows where it is. Nobody could ever find it.
My whiskey? No, but that is only because when I get it, I drink it. My storage of whiskey, it's already gone. That's how you avoid the thieves. What are they going to do? Steal it from inside my... Oh shit, that's exactly what they've been doing all along, goddammit. No wonder I'm so disgustingly sober.
Okay. As a matter of fact, NDT, back to what I was talking about, even said that you can't see the curve unless if you go out in space.
Yes, that's what the fucking ant sket ball was about, you moron. That you are too small to see any kind of curve. Way too fucking small. Seriously, you have to consider that you are so absolutely tiny on the surface of this planet that you essentially might as well not be here. Some would argue that you shouldn't be here, but those people are mean and dumb. You want this treasure trove of comedy gold to just go away? You fool!
Just like I said on couple other videos that I've had, and that's amazing because we don't seem to have a picture.
Of the Earth? Yeah, we do. We have a bunch of them. What are you talking about? Well, aside from the fact that anything presented to you will almost certainly be decided it's not actually a picture, but at that point, what's the point of even talking to you? Either we and they are all lying liars, or maybe, just maybe, you're wrong, and the evidence that we present to you is actually legitimate, and you'll have to just deal with that. No, never. Being wrong is for people who have self-awareness, not me. I don't even know what that is.
Of Earth. We have these composite drawings.
Composite drawings? What the fuck does that even mean? I know there are composite photos, but compositing them together to get an extremely high fidelity image is both not a drawing and an excellent way to show the surface of a planet when using satellite cameras which have a limited possible pixel density. It is a perfectly reasonable thing to do, unless you're an idiot. Cough.
We have stitching that puts together this Earth for you to make it look like a ball.
Wait, is that the composite photography you're talking about? Or do you mean like a projection map? Like this one where you have some spaces around things? This is the problem with being so vague. I can't tell what wrong version of reality you are spouting out without some specifics. And nothing is to make it look like a ball. It is a ball. We are simply trying our best to accurately represent the thing that it is. That is what happens. These representations work. They are functional and accurate. Remind me again what thing that the flat earthers have developed explains how the world world works and doesn't contradict everything else immediately. It's almost like you can't do that. Also, again, those aren't the only kind. There are others that aren't composites. We have them. You just have to stop thinking that everyone is lying to you. The only people lying to you, Chris, are other flat earthers.
With the continents all fucked up all over the place, you know, Africa, the size of the whole side of the ball, and America this big. And
so you are talking about projection maps and the versions of them that accurately represent the sizes of various places. And yeah, America compared to Africa, not that fucking big. And dude, you can measure it. I mean, I doubt you could, but get enough flurfs together and you could probably figure something out. Measure across America and measure across Africa, and assuming you don't just fuck it up, you'll get these numbers, more or less. And would you look at that? America is smaller than Africa, east to west and north to south. Fuck. If you can prove these numbers are inaccurate, I'll even concede that maybe something is up with the planet. Although, if I were a betting boy, I will not ever have to do that. But that is only because flat earthers couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery.
different colors all the time and every decade.
Different colours? Do you mean like colour grading? No, dude, those are the same colours. They're just using different equipment, different sensors, or different software to master the photos. It's not a fucking trick. It's just how photos work, you dork.
They didn't actually prove anything or give us a picture until 2015 when Flat Earth hit.
No, you're done, lad. The fact that you think Flat Earth has only been around for a few years is proof positive that instead of looking for answers to your questions, you just assume that there aren't any and only the paltry knowledge inside your empty bonds is the sum total of all that could possibly exist. Evidence for the shape of the planet, including photos, has existed for a very long time, and proof without any photos even longer than that. The fact that you don't know that or understand any of it is only proof that you are a fucking moron. What would I do without you? Alright, something else.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel, Spoonstar Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the